Has everybody called in, or are they using the computer audio?
Just to let you know, we are waiting. We've got some technological difficulties here.
I dialed it on my phone. I can switch to the computer if that's better. No, I dialed in too.
The problem is really people not being on mute.
Not being on the computer? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and,
Not being on
if
mute.
I can have your attention, we're going to go ahead and try roll call again. We're learning that you are unmuted, so if you can please answer when I call your name. Trustee Mathey.
Here.
Trustee Bolin. Here. Trustee Milwambwe.
Here.
Trustee Emig. Trustee Emig. Trustee Painter. Trustee Carrillo.
Here.
Trustee Crable.
Here.
Trustee Black.
Here.
Trustee Bray.
Here. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. Okay. Well, we do
Mayor
have
Renner.
Trustee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here too. Okay. So we do have a quorum, and we are ready. If we could all, I should say, all stand. The 9 of us or so that are here will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And at this point, I did that out of order. I apologize, Madam Clerk. Next, we have a consent agenda. Are there any items that any of the trustees would like to have removed for separate consideration, either item 4A or 4B? If not, is there a motion from one of the trustees and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
And that was by Trustee Carrillo?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second to Trustee Carrillo's motion?
Second.
Second by Trustee Bolin. At this point, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Trustee Mathey.
Yes.
Trustee Bolin.
Yes.
Trustee Milwambwe.
Yes.
Trustee Emig. Trustee Painter.
Yes.
Trustee Renner.
Yes.
Trustee Carrillo.
Yes.
Trustee Crable.
Yes.
Trustee Black.
Yes.
Trustee Bray.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries unanimously. We're going to move to our reports by our elected officials. Ms. Gilrude, our Township Supervisor, are you online? Can you hear us?
I am online. I do have a couple things to report.
Okay, please, go ahead. You've got the floor.
Okay, the supervisor's report is there, so I won't belabor that. I do want to inform you that we do need to make sure we have an April 27th board meeting to go over monthly financials, line appropriation transfer for fiscal year 2020.
Okay.
And then also what would be provided is a courtesy copy of the annual statement of receipts and expenditures. It's also important that the public hearing that we did reschedule from this meeting must be done before March 31st. Our fiscal year is April 1 through March 31.
Okay.
Any questions?
Questions of Ms. Gilrude? Okay.
No, it just is still very hard to understand what's going on, and I am wondering if you can force mute everybody but Deb or whoever is talking.
Okay, well, at this point, do you have any, the question would be, do you have any questions of Deb Gilrude?
I'm saying I'm having a hard time even understanding what Deb was saying.
Are you having trouble, you're having trouble hearing us? Is that it, Jen?
Yes, yes.
It's painful.
It's very bad.
It's painful. Okay.
Yes.
Terry,
Yeah.
Mayor, I would say I can hear you clearly, but anybody else, so you and the clerk as well as Alderwoman Bolin, I can hear clearly because you're there. But anybody else, there's a lot of echo.
Anybody who's at the chamber, we can hear fine, but that's why they need to mute all of us who are on the line except for the person who is talking.
Okay, while that person is talking. Okay, I got you. And then we have Scott Sprouls working on this. And it's probably a good run-through for our regular council meeting in just a few minutes. But does anybody have any
Terry,
questions of Ms. Skillroot?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead. And I can repeat it.
And I'm sorry, it sounds so wild because it's like echoing back into me. So if I sound incoherent, I apologize. Deb, can you walk us through what the township is doing around preparations for the coronavirus?
Deb, I don't know if you heard that, but just to repeat it for everyone, including our audience. Deb, the question was from Trustee Black. Can you walk us through what the township is doing with respect to the coronavirus?
Yeah.
Okay. The individuals who receive monthly grant from township are called determinations. All of those are being done by phone. And new general assistance applicants begin by phone, and we mail a packet of information. So we're doing the best we can to minimize our social interaction while still getting the applications to the individuals. Currently, there is no sign of additional need due to COVID. I anticipate this will change at the end of April.
Okay. Anything else, Deb?
At this time, no.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions of Ms. Skillroot at this point?
Yes, we have a question. This is from Carrillo. Deb, my question is, there's been some conversation in the community and among elected officials about what the procedure would be for providing additional assistance to our residents. And, the point was raised that the city doesn't have a great mechanism in place already for dispersing additional funds. But the township is already set up to do this. And so I'm just curious whether you can walk me through if this body in the capacity as city council members were to designate some dollar amount that we wanted to go towards providing additional assistance to the community. Is that something that we could pass through as a grant to the township, and then that you all would be able to disperse to the community, or how does it?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Deb, go ahead.
Okay.
I totally missed the question. Can someone repeat the question?
Yeah.
Let's see. Jen, could you repeat the question? Or I'm sorry, excuse me, our clerk can repeat the question.
I can go ahead and repeat it since you can hear me a little clearer. Trustee Carrillo was just asking Mrs. Skillroot whether there's an opportunity for the township to offer additional assistance or releasing of funds during this time of COVID.
Well, and specifically what I was asking was, if us in our capacity as city council members decided that X amount of dollars we wanted to find a way to get them to people in the community, could we grant that money to the township and then the township be responsible for dispersing those funds? And then would those funds be subject to the same restrictions that the current forms of assistance that township offers?
Well, I think, and then I'm looking to our city manager, but and I don't know if Jeff Juergens is on the line, but I think that certainly the township and other entities of local government other than the city are much better prepared to decide on anything having to do with means testing of distribution of funds. But let's see, Trustee Bolin had a comment, I believe, or am I misunderstanding?
Wait, but I asked Deb a question.
Oh, yeah, well, I understand you asked Deb a question. I'm just trying to get the empirical answer regardless of, and I'm not trying to put Deb off the hook, but Trustee Bolin had a comment, and then we'll turn to Deb. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's quite confusing. I'm sorry.
The only thing that I would appreciate, and I think for the public also, is if the trustees or council members identify themselves before they speak.
Yeah, if you could, thank you, and I think that's a great suggestion. That Trustee Bolin suggests that we identify ourselves before we speak, so that it's clear to everyone who's speaking. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Skillrood. Anything else that you want to add to that question from Trustee Carrillo?
I do. This is Deb. I do believe that we could potentially work through a grant opportunity. Determining the parameters of that grant funding could be worked out with the city. Our general assistance and emergency assistance funds do not currently have the capability of handling the COVID on its own. We have budgeted what our anticipated emergency assistance and general assistance would be on an ongoing basis. Those restrictions that we have with the general assistance and emergency assistance are set by state guidelines. So grant funding would be the way that we could work around some of those eligibility factors.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions of Ms. Skillrood before we move on to Mr. Scudder? Mr. Scudder.
Oh, this is Kim Bray.
Kim, I'm sorry. Trustee Bray, go ahead.
Thank you. So just in follow-up to that, asking Ms. Skillrood, our township supervisor, has she received any COVID requests for assistance?
Okay. Deb, I don't know if you heard that, but Trustee Bray asked if you had received any COVID requests for assistance.
We have received a few general assistance applicants, or sorry, not applicants, orientations. That means somebody who comes into our office seeking assistance that have identified the reason they're there here at Township is because of COVID.
Okay, so you have received some requests, and this is over the last few days or the last week?
Just over, well, today's Monday, so I don't have the statistics for Friday, but it's more recent.
Okay. Okay.
So this is Trustee Bray, and I heard her say she has a couple walk-ins. So I'd like to know what were the nature of those assistance requests. Are we looking at medical benefits needed? Or are we looking at some kind of financial assistance of some sort for housing, or can we have a flavor of what that would be?
Until the applications are turned in, we have no idea yet. Right now, they're just going through orientation.
Okay. Thank you
And
very
there
much.
aren't many of them.
Thank you. Anything else for our supervisor?
This is Scott. The challenge I'm having is hearing it.
Pardon me, I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry. It's so hard to hear everything, and this is a really important conversation.
Right.
Can Deb send us a report specific to COVID-19 responses
Okay.
and numbers?
Okay. I can just repeat it. It sounds as if, I'm sure she can, it's just that her response was she's had a couple of people who have asked asked for assistance, but have not specified what the nature of that assistance is.
Gotcha.
And so
I heard dozen.
I'm sure she can. Deb, are you okay with, and I'm hoping everybody can hear, are you okay with maybe providing us with more updated information and updates as you get them, even if it's just in terms of email, so we know what's happening?
Yes, I can do that. Right now, without having an application in hand, it's hard to know what the reasoning is.
Right. No, that's.
But
I was trying to make that clear. Without having an application in hand, just so that everyone heard that, it's hard to tell what the nature of the request is and what the problem is. So there's not too much to report at this point, other than. But that doesn't mean that we want to wait a month. It means just that if we could get regular updates, that would be very helpful. It sounds like that it's okay, that there's not going to be any particular problem doing that. Is that correct, Ms.
I don't think so.
Skillroot?
I don't think there's any problem providing that. Maybe weekly is okay?
Okay.
No, I would prefer daily, please.
Okay. We have a trustee who said, and I think that
Sorry.
that's Trustee Matthey who has suggested.
Daily is going to be a little difficult. We don't do orientations every single day. They come in as walk-ins right now.
Okay.
So I think I will do my best, but daily is going to be very difficult.
Okay.
So this is Trustee Bray. If
Trustee
I might recommend that we receive information about actual applications completed, because having people walk in and indicate they think they have a need and take an application isn't as helpful as actual completed application.
And maybe that is a reasonable compromise then on this, and that is if we could get an update as applications are actually completed for actual requests for assistance, that there may not be one every day, at least for a while, but we would get those once they are completed, and then you would have something to tell us, Deb. Am I understanding it that correctly?
Really, an application that comes in is either going to be for rent or utilities or laundry or, a couple of basic maintenance needs. Food would be another. It's the same as what we're doing for general assistance. What's more important is the people that we can't serve. That's the more important piece I think you're looking for.
Okay.
This is Jen, and the reason I want to push back on what Councilmember Bray...
I'd like to follow up.
Hold on. If we could do one at a time.
I can't hear.
Yeah, if we could do one at a time. I'm not sure who I heard, but...
Trustee Bray.
Trustee Bray, go ahead.
Thank you. So the question that I have is I'd like to get my arms around the kind of need that is being requested.
because I'm hearing a broader initiative here that we have another trustee seems to be backing. And in order to really understand the landscape of need, we would like to know what kind of applications are coming in related to COVID and how many applications you've received for COVID needs and what kind of money these folks are looking for, rather than going anecdotal with some kind of a program or plan to address perceived need rather than actual documented need. Thank you.
Okay. Deb, did you hear that?
I did.
Okay.
Mayor?
Any comment?
Yes, this is
That's it.
Carrillo.
No, I'm sorry. A comment from Deb Skillroot, and then we'll go to Trustee Carrillo. Deb?
Yes, I can try to, we can circumvent the questionnaire to find out if this is COVID related. And the items that, I guess I'm trying to understand, but the items that they're looking for are always the same as what we provide.
Okay.
And I can separate that out based on what we have as an application and what the need is. We'll do our best, and then I'll just have to communicate with you and see if this is enough.
Okay. Thank you very much. Other questions of Ms. Skillroot? Okay. I'm sorry.
Can I jump in?
Is there anyone who has, if there are no other questions, are there no other questions? Okay.
Mayor?
Yes. Who is this?
This is Jen.
Okay, Jen, sorry.
So I want to push back on the notion that we would only be counting completed applications because as far as I understand, and Deb, please correct me if I'm mistaken, people above a certain income can't apply for township assistance. So, for example, while the township may be able to help a lot of folks living in more extreme forms of poverty, somebody who is working poor and has lost a number of hours or shifts because of the crisis may not actually qualify for the services and therefore would not be filling out an application. And that the same would apply to recipients of Canada.
Okay, let me ask the
family.
Ms. Skillroot, did you hear that a question / comment by Trustee Carrillo?
Yes. Yes, I do, and I agree with her. I think there are populations of individuals that we are unable to serve based on those state statutes. Those are the ones you're trying to find because they're already being taken care of through township if they fit our criteria. I think what you're looking for is those that do not fit because they are not able to receive township dollars.
Right.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, okay. And that is something that the council needs to, or the city council needs to address, I think perhaps separately from township, unless we're going to contract with the township to do something beyond its normal general and emergency funds.
Which we are very readily available, to do and would want to help serve the population of individuals that are affected by COVID.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So, thank you. This is Trustee Bray. I'll just say thank you for that clarification, and certainly there'll be different data points that we'll be gathering as we're looking at addressing needs that exist in our community, both in our role as trustees for the J.M. Scott and in our role as city council members. But I would submit that having a bucket of information about what requests were particularly COVID-related will be helpful as we try to put together that data and discern what needs exist.
Okay.
Absolutely. I can do our part at Township.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Deb.
Ms. Skillroot. Anything else on that?
Mayor Renner?
Yes. Who's this?
This is Trustee Emig.
Okay. Thank you.
And yes, apologies for the reverberation.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question for Ms. Gilrude is, if, being part of this network of townships who are trying to cope in these new times, are you having any sense of statewide efforts, for example, that might be responding to this need, or what might become future needs? And can windows be leveraged open to meet the demands?
Ms. Gilrude, did you hear that question?
I did. I do not have any information that I've gathered personally. We work with township officials of Illinois, and at this point, emerging needs have not been discussed in terms of working together with other townships. I do believe that one would be food shortages, food supply to individuals might be something that we need to consider in the future, but I don't have anything I don't have any working relationships right now with any other township at this point.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are we okay? Moving on to Mr. Scudder. Okay. Mr. Scudder, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Okay. Anything that, go ahead. You've got the floor for your report.
I just wanted to make it known, typically May 1st is when they send out the tax bills. They haven't said anything different about it this year, to have a payments made in June and September. And we're seeing not a lot of growth in residential construction for this year. It's about the same as it was last year.
Okay. Questions of Mr. Scudder by the trustees? Thank you very much. Okay, at this point, do we have any public comment on just township-related measures? Okay. At this point, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting of the City of Bloomington Township?
I make a motion.
So moved.
Okay, we have it's moved by Trustee Bolin. There was a second? I couldn't tell who that was second. Who was the second?
Scott will do it.
Okay, second by Trustee Black. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I think there were more than 5 ayes. We are adjourned, and we're going to, in about 30 seconds, if you'll stay on the line, hold on for just a second. Thank you. We're adjourned for Township.
This audio issue is unbearable. I don't know what we can do to fix this.
Okay. Do
But
I need to call?
we can't conduct business like this.
Agreed.
I would